Finally, Tommy has come back to give you your WWE Raw results, Superstars results, and more Hall of Fame news, both WWE style and non-WWE style. Okay, first off, non-WWE news. Ted Turner and former TV wrestling announcer Gordon Solie tapped for the Hall of Heroes honors. Also in Atlanta this coming week, media mogul, philanthropist, and former WTBS Superstation owner Ted Turner is among 8 legendary figures being inducted to the Pro Wrestling's Hall of Heroes here this August. So it's going to be in August. Turner will be recognized for seeing out wrestling programming in the early days of cable TV, and for more than 2 decades, providing a broadcast home for matches sanctioned by the fine, once mighty National Wrestling Alliance, being the NWA. The exposure gained from being on Turner's quickly expanding Superstation broadcast and the station's jump to satellite transmission in 1976 brought Georgia Championship Wrestling and the NWA to a new level of national popularity. In short order, it made household names of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Wildfire Tommy Rich, and Mr. Wrestling number 2. Another is Atlanta's wrestling legend Claude Thunderbolt Patterson. 2007 Hall of Fame Heroes inductee himself, Patterson, arrived in Georgia in the early 70s and experienced firsthand the added popularity of being seen on one of the cable television's first wrestling shows. Ted Turner provided us a lot of opportunities in the early days, said Patterson, who will be inducting Turner during a dinner, banquet, and award ceremony Friday night, August the 5th at Atlanta's Airport Marriott Hotel. Suddenly, our TV wrestling show was not just seen in Atlanta each week, but in faraway places like Michigan, Ohio, and West Virginia. Without Ted Turner, Atlanta Wrestling would still be at Atlanta Wrestling. Thanks to his vision, it became World Championship Wrestling. Okay, I lost my spot. The Hall of Heroes inductions are part of Atlanta's first ever NWA Wrestling Legends Fan Fest weekend, August the 4th to the 7th. The 10th annual event offers fans and followers of all ages an exciting 3-day forum to reconnect with some of TV's wrestling notable heroes and villains. Autograph sessions, photo opportunities, and question and answer sessions will fill the weekend, and tons of wrestling memorabilia will be on display. Turner will be joined by 7 other class of 2011 Hall of Hero inductees, including legendary TV wrestling announcer Gordon Solie, affectionately known as the Dean of all wrestling announcers, recognized by his fans for his monotone, stoic interviews, shows filmed on location at Turner's 1050 Techwood Drive studio. They quickly became the most watched programming on cable television at that time. He was the man, said wrestling icon Dusty Rhodes, the absolute best to ever call a match. Others being honored will include professional wrestling legends, the Assassins, Ron Hands of Stone Garvin, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, who just recently passed away last weekend, Ray the Crippler Stevens, and the Masked Superstar. For more info on the Hall of Heroes inductions and details of Atlanta's first ever NWA Wrestling Legends Fan Fest weekend, please visit www.nwalegends.com. Make plans now to be with them for the last Battle of Atlanta, 3 huge days and 4 nights celebrating wrestling tradition. It will make a great summer vacation. NWA Wrestling Legends Fan Fest weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August 4th through the 7th, 2011. Atlanta Airport Marriott Hotel, Atlanta, Georgia. VIP all access passes on sale now at www.nwalegends.com. Okay, discuss pro wrestling and tradition at their FanFest forum, meet and get to know many of the folks like yourself that share a similar passion for wrestling's past. Go to the website at www.nwalegends.com/FanFest forum. FanFest highlights and more on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/NWA Wrestling Legends to see more rare video footage and more to come. Okay, now on for your WWE news. Shawn Michaels noted on his Twitter that WrestleMania raffle was a huge success and raised close to $60,000 for his charities. He wrote, "I cannot thank all of you enough for helping out. In fact, it just doesn't happen without each and every one of you. As always, I owe you. Thanks, and I want to let you all know that I just got word we grossed close to $60,000 on the raffle. Thank you that the money is going to do some good. Pardon the pandering, but dang it, thank you. I hope you will get much you're needed by me, by someday, somewhere. Mushy but true. I'll try to be, not to be sentimental too much, but I can't help it. That it's just cool. And you guys and gals did that. Thank you. I'm okay. I'm done." And the winner from the raffle was Don T. M. Benton from Fredericksburg, Virginia. He and she and a special guest will enjoy all the expense-paid trip as Shawn Michaels guest to WrestleMania and have dinner with him later that evening, being that WrestleMania is next weekend. And to the WWE tickets to the Hall of Fame ceremony, and also be able to enjoy a private meeting with Shawn for photos, autographs, and chat along with loads more people, a lot of more prizes, and don't forget to pay their taxes on the prizes. All proceeds went to go to the support of the Ronald McDonald House charities of San Antonio, Operation Homefront, and Cross Trail Outfitters. That is his 3 organizations that he raises money for. Atlanta Braves will host WrestleMania night at Turner Field on Tuesday, being tomorrow, March 29th, as the Braves take on the Minnesota Twins. John Morrison, Eve Torres, and Mark Henry will be meeting fans from 5 to 6 p.m. and doing a question and answer with a chop rally before the game. There's a special ticket offer of 2 tickets for $30 for the game. WWE will be releasing a special t-shirt for Shawn Michaels Hall of Fame induction this year. Speaking of the Hall, they just released $75 tickets for the ceremony today, being over the weekend. The seats were previously blocked off for production reasons. Dusty Rhodes is expected to induct the Road Warriors that were announced tonight on Raw into the Hall of Fame. Earlier reported said it was just going to be the Road Warriors. Well, as of tonight, they are inducted all 3. His manager also, Paul Ellering. Like I said, the former manager, Paul Ellering, will also be, he said he was just going to be in attendance, but it's unknown whether he's going to be inducted or not, but they announced tonight, and he was. Okay, latest word on Awesome Kong is that she will debut for WWE in April, shortly after WrestleMania. Kong has been given different start dates, but before it looked like she will finally get her debut next month. Well, next month starts later. Okay. Developmental star Richie Steamboat recently spoke with the Miami Herald. Here are a few highlights. Lost it. Growing up around other wrestler sons, growing up I knew the Usos, Rikishi's Fatu son, and Brett DiBiase, Million Dollar Man, and Ted DiBiase, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase's son, and Joe Hennig, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig's son. A lot of those guys, I would see them around the buildings at shows, and we would try to touch a forklift and get into trouble like that, being kids. Being on the amateur wrestling circuit, with his father and the Flairs. We would travel to about 80% of the same wrestling tournaments, and there would be an occasion where I would look across the mat and I would see Reed and his father, Rick, standing there, and I would be competing against him. It would always a friendly rivalry. The fathers had a little bit more than a rivalry than they did. But he tell you this: Reed never beat me. Training at WWE's FCW Developmental Territory. This is the best facility in the world. We've got some of the best trainers in the world, being Dr. Tom Pritchard, Norman Smiley, Joey Mercury. So those that not familiar with him, Mercury Morrison, Eminem, well, that's him. His father is working there also, Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes. They are open to all of us 7 days a week. It's great. You can come in there with any questions, any concern, any moves, anything at all. They're open and honest, and they're there to help. It's a very, very good establishment. FCW 15 champion Seth Rollins, former Tyler Black, was told he would be used on the new season of WWE NXT, which would be the second time he has been told that he would be coming up to TV. Several wrestlers were told that they would be used on the current NXT season, but guess what? They changed their minds at the last minute. Original plan for Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 27 was to have the Bella Twins in Sheamus' corner and Gail Kim in Bryan's corner, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. Because they're expecting Gail Kim to turn on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Former WWE, WCW, and AWA talent Wayne Bloom, a.k.a. Bo Beverly from the Beverly Brothers, celebrated his 53rd birthday earlier this week. Bodyguard restraining Divas champion Eve from attacking Michael Cole on Raw was an independent wrestler named Chad Williams. He appeared for Absolute Intense Wrestling, a promotion in Ohio. Michael Cole noted on Raw that he has opened an account on Twitter, which has been also verified. He claims Suits ordered him to open an account in spite of his hatred for the microblogging services. While several WWE talents are expected to be released after WrestleMania, most of those will likely not come as a result of WWE Superstars on WGN American being canceled, though, folks. As some are speculating, WWE is planning to still tape Superstars for their website and international TV markets. Still, several mid-card talents will be released to make way for the new stars from FCW. Yeah, WGN is losing. They're kicking WWE out. They're saying, get the F out. Well, they're getting them out. Okay. Raw superstar Mark Henry recently spoke with a West Australian to promote WrestleMania 27. It was noted that Henry is planning on retiring in the next 18 months, despite him feeling that he has another 3 good years left in him. After retiring from action, Henry will be working with WWE's next generation of wrestlers, presumably in an agent or trainer's role. Miss USA, Rima Faki, recently spoke with the New York Post and talked about being on WWE Tough Enough. Here's what she had to say about the TV show and the training. I was bruised up a lot, she said. There would be times I would leave the ring and there would be a lot of blood on the mat. There was a lot of wear and tear on my body, but I loved every bruise, every black and blue mark because I could see how hard I pushed myself. And that's all she had to say. Well, WWE has removed Sin Cara from the Raw live event in Winnipeg from May 27th, where he was scheduled to team with Evan Bourne to take on Nexus. Well, reason being, he's going to be on the show for the TV tapings. For the same show, United States title match is now Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan versus John Morrison versus Dolph Ziggler with Gail Kim. So there's a spoiler for WrestleMania. Sheamus will retain. This could be an error, or it could be a sign that, like I said, Gail Kim could be turning on Bryan. Because Gail Kim's going to be in Sheamus' corner. THQ has WWE All-Stars set up backstage at tonight's Raw in Chicago, where several of the superstars and divas have been trying it out. By the sound of things, WWE has had them all take to Twitter to promote the game also. Well, I was on Twitter, and there was a few of them tweeting about the game. They liked it, but of course they're saying didn't like it. I didn't like the graphics at all. If you're familiar with the old micro games where the wrestlers are real small, well, this is just an upgraded version of that to me in my eyes. Well, and by the way, the game comes out at midnight tonight. Okay. Here's what Alicia was saying. Hey, I'm playing Mr. Perfect as on the WWE All-Star game. Everyone should grab a copy tomorrow. Natalia, Tyson Kidd and I just played WWE All-Stars game at the arena here in Chicago. Mr. Perfect versus CM Punk and Bret Hart versus Edge. Justin Gabriel said, just played as Ultimate Warrior versus Kane on the All-Stars game. Kick-ass, great stuff. Comes out tomorrow. Dolph Ziggler is quoted in saying in Chicago, playing All-Stars, which debuts at midnight. Tried to play it myself, but instead chose Mr. Perfect. So, Dolph Ziggler is on the game itself. Okay, Daniel Bryan was playing it. Holy cow, just played WWE All-Stars as Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't play video games, but this thing is sweet. Out tomorrow. Kofi Kingston's quoted by saying that this time is upon us. All-Stars comes out in less than 24 hours. Kofi Kingston just beat the Macho Man. Don't miss out. Pick up a copy tomorrow. Beth Phoenix is quoted by saying, "Ooh yeah, just kicked butt as Randy Savage. Snap into the All-Stars tomorrow. Available in your stores everywhere." Wade Barrett just played as The Rock versus John Cena on the WWE All-Stars game. I beat Cena in 73 seconds. Great game. It comes out tomorrow. Zack Ryder says, "Hey, Zach Pack, just played WWE All-Stars. It's Zach-tastic. Comes out tomorrow. Go buy it. Woo, woo, woo." Okay, a rumor coming out of WWE this weekend is that Jim Ross will be joining the announcer's table to call 3 matches at WrestleMania 27. Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler, Triple H versus The Undertaker, and John Cena versus Miz for the WWE title. But it's unconfirmed. Just a rumor. Well, you are going to have Jerry the King Lawler wrestling versus Michael Cole. So that's 2 announcers. So that leaves Matt Striker. What's his face? From the SmackDown show. What's his nuts and what have you? Slap nuts, whatever you call him. One of the better announcers who knows a little bit of wrestling and what have you. Okay, on with the show. As noted last week, Shawn Michaels was meeting with partners to brainstorm on a new TV project. Shawn and his partners are reportedly pitching a reality TV show that focuses on poachers, hunters who illegally hunt, and the officers that try to stop them. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posted the following last-minute hype on Twitter for tonight's Raw. "Team, bring it tonight. It's on. Our power is unstoppable. Tonight, as always, we dominate together." Below is the official synopsis for the WWE Greatest Cages DVD set. 3-disc set. This set will be released on June 28th in North America. Synopsis reads like this. Some of the greatest rivalries end with brutal cage matches. Matches that keep the combatants in the ring and interferences out. For decades, steel cages matches have been one of the most popular matches in every wrestling company, including WWE, WCW, ECW, Smoky Mountain, AWA, World Class Championship Wrestling, and more. This 3-disc set collects the greatest steel cages matches in history. Latest edition of Superstar to Superstar on WWE.com. Former Divas champion Melina talked to the stars of Sucker Punch. being Vanessa Hudgens, Jenna Malone, and Jamie Chung, about the new action fantasy film, and watch it on WWE.com. Celebrating a birthday today is former WWE star The Warlord, who turned 49 years old. Today would have also marked Kurt Hennig's 53rd birthday, who passed away February 10th, 2003. Why was that on there? Well, okay. Well, I guess I copied it from the quote. Okay, where was I at? Cablevision Optimum app is advertising Alberto Del Rio versus Christian in a Falls Count Anywhere match for this week's episode of SmackDown, being this week. Content for the episode is being filmed at tonight's television taping in Chicago, since no taping is scheduled for tomorrow. Former World Heavyweight Champion Vader can be found on Twitter at It's Vader Time. That's his username. While his son Jesse White, who is expected to be signed by WWE any day now, is at _Jesse White _. Vader noted that the Vader Time World Tour 2011 is currently underway in Japan, with stops to come this year in Mexico, England, Dubai, and the United States. WWE diva Maurice noted on Twitter last night that she was headed to Dancing with the Stars tonight to watch Chris Jericho live in action. It looks like WWE is sending divas each week, as Alicia Fox and the Bella Twins were there last week to cheer Jericho on. And an internal WWE pay-per-view memo still lists the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view as having that name, but the new tagline is Capital Punishment. So it might be Fatal 4-Way, Capital Punishment. It was previously reported that the Fatal 4-Way had been changed to Capital Punishment, but until we get official word from WWE, it sounds like the Capital Punishment name is just a tagline. For what it's worth, WWE recently registered the trademark for Capital Punishment. Episode of Silent Library on MTV with WWE Superstars airs tonight. Well, it's already aired at 7 o'clock Eastern, being 6 o'clock our time. WWE announcer Scott Stanford there's your name. He now has a Twitter account at Scott Stanford 1. Jim Ross noted on Twitter that he has been mentoring SmackDown star Brodus Clay. Former NXT diva and AJ Lee was on the road with SmackDown brand this week. AJ teamed with Beth Phoenix at Sunday's live event to defeat the unusual team of Caitlyn and Layla. Wow. Yeah, because what's her face? Blondie. Skinny, no tits, and what have you. She doesn't do road shows anymore. Just the TV tapings, just like Undertaker. Recently surfaced online indicating that Rey Mysterio asked World Wrestling Entertainment officials to release him from his contract following WrestleMania this year. Mysterio, however, shot down the rumors on his Twitter account, saying that he did not ask to be released and that he will be around for a while. Former WCW star Conan, longtime friend of Mysterio, told Pro Wrestling Torch writer Jason Powell by email that the assumption that SmackDown star is bothered by the recent signing of Mexican sensation Sin Cara is way off. He said Mysterio isn't the type to be jealous. Rather, he welcomed new talent as potential rivals or teammates. It would appear that Mysterio and Sin Cara will be kept on opposite brands for the time being, as the newcomer is slated to initially work the Raw live events. He's already been done that. He made his first appearance inside the WWE ring at last night's Raw House show at the Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois, defeating WWE superstar Primo. Meanwhile, Alberto Del Rio was asked to comment on WWE signing Sin Cara during an interview published earlier this week on latino.foxnews.com. While the article says he is pleased to hear WWE sign a fellow countryman. He doesn't acknowledge Sin Cara in particular. He instead says that he's happy WWE is using a number of Latino wrestlers before turning the subject back to himself. And he's quoted by, I'm just happy this company uses so many Latino talent. There is so much talent out there, from Puerto Rico to Mexico, just to name a few. I hope it continues like that. Because of that, I am here and getting all these opportunities. Unquote. According to F4W Online editor Brian Alvarez, the claim of Del Rio being pleased about Sin Cara joining WWE, contrary to a behind-the-scenes story he heard, however, he would not elaborate. Raven has been added to Sean Waltman and Kevin Nash's WrestleMania weekend party on Friday, April 1st at the Social Lounge in Atlanta. Big Show will be appearing on Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards on Saturday, April 2nd at 8 p.m. It has been confirmed that WWE will officially announce the Core versus Kane, Big Show, Kofi Kingston, and Christian for WrestleMania on tonight's Raw from Chicago. Well, Kofi Kingston wasn't on the program tonight. As noted before, Sin Cara made his WWE debut last night in Champaign, defeating Primo. Cara won the match by submission using his La Mystica finisher, which is a head scissors takedown into a single arm DDT into a Fuji armbar. Okay, spoilers for NXT for tomorrow. Written by Billy Crotchton. NXT opened with a series arm wrestling tournament. Darren Young defeated Byron Saxton. Conor O'Brien defeated Lucky O'Cannon. Titus O'Neil defeated Jacob Novak. Conor O'Brien defeated Darren Young. Titus O'Neil defeated Conor O'Brien. Titus won the tournament. The crowd had huge boring chants all through the process. Titus O'Neil and Byron Saxton and Conor O'Brien defeated Darren Young and Lucky Cannon and Jacob Novak. Chicago didn't care at all for that match. At all. And I believe your dark match was Mark Henry pinning Ted DiBiase. SmackDown portion of Superstars. Trent Beretta pinned Kurt Hawkins by Tornado DDT. And the Bellas and Melina defeated Gail Kim and Natalya and Eve. Quick results for Raw tonight. Being that was only 4 matches, the actual wrestling was about 27 minutes. Edge and Christian defeated Alberto Del Rio and Brodus Clay by pinfall. Santino Marella defeated Justin Gabriel by pinfall with the other guys at the ring. Jack Swagger defeated Jerry Lawler by disqualification. Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus defeated Daniel Bryan and John Morrison by pinfall. They started the Raw off with CM Punk in the ring, as he's from Chicago. Sitting in the middle of the ring in the dark arena as we join Raw. Punk says he called the crowd in Chicago his people. Just like the Nexus, he saw Randy Orton take them out one by one. Punk says Orton has built up a false sense of security as Punk treats us the footage of what went down last week outside of Orton's tour bus. Punk says Orton should have never punted him in the head 2 years ago and cost him the championship, as he now costs Orton the respect of his family. Punk says he will close this sick and twisted chapter at WrestleMania and begins to walk off the ring, but is stopped in his tracks as Orton's music hits. Orton comes out with his right knee taped, Ginger to make it to the ring. Orton entered the ring, goes right on the attack, but Orton is able to connect with an uppercut before driving Punk down with a DDT. Orton then backs up, sets up the Punk kick, and Punk kick him in the head. He stumbles in the ring due to his knee injury. Punk then stands up, smiles after a minute and a half or something like that. Orton hobbles around the ring. Punk sets his focus on Orton's injured knee before taking him out with a GTS. And being that the GTS does no harm to a knee. Orton's landing was dead on. with the mat, so I don't see a real injury there. Okay, Punk then stands up and smiles as Orton hobbles around the ring, sets up for folks before the GTS. Punk leaves the ring as Orton rolls around in pain. The announced team hypes tonight's show that will feature a face-to-face confrontation between The Undertaker and Triple H. And Rock will be in the house and be in the ring for the first time with John Cena and The Miz. And that was your main event. We see Christian backstage with Edge, and he doesn't understand why he can't touch Alberto Del Rio on SmackDown, but he can on Raw. Christian says that the Raw GM said it's okay as Edge chimes in besides the stupid besides the stupid sound effect. He has always liked that guy. The two then walked away as Edge and Christian be in the tag team action tonight. We see footage of last Friday's match where Christian defeated Alberto Del Rio on SmackDown. That brings us to your first match. Edge Christian versus Alberto and Brodus Clay. The first part of the match, Josh Matthews brings us up to the fact that the first time in 6 years that Edge and Christian have tagged together on Raw. Edge and Christian work over Clay with double team moves and quick tags in and out before dumping him to the floor as they go to the first commercial. And that was a good time to go to commercial because he was just laid out and Christian hops back on the ring apron. Well, they return to the match and to see back from a commercial, Del Rio took control and over Christian as he took him down with a super kick to pick up a near fall. Clay is tagged in continues to work over on Christian as Del Rio tagged back in and picks up another near fall after hitting an elbow from the middle rope. Christian is finally able to stop the momentum with a tornado DDT on Del Rio. Then he makes a hot tag to Edge. Clay is tagged in, and Edge is able to take him down to the canvas. Crowd rises to their feet as Edge sets up for the spear, but Del Rio trips him in the ring. Del Rio and Christian go at it outside the ring as Edge hits Clay with a spear to pick up the pinfall. After the match, Del Rio locks Christian in the crossarm bar on the outside of the ring before Edge realizes it, chases him to the ramp. Edge then runs him up the ramp, goes after him. As he turns around to go back, well, Del Rio hits him from behind with an elbow to the back. Del Rio then puts Edge in the crossarm bar before Del Rio breaks the hold and walks away. The announced team hyped the match between John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Snooki after Dolph Ziggler and LA Cool. We see footage of Snooki and Trish in a bar in New Jersey as we get an exclusive interview with them later on in the show. This could have been taped anytime this entire week. A video package for Sin Cara aired before we see footage of the Chicago skyline, Illinois. National Guard members are seen sitting ringside before we head backstage with The Miz and Alex Riley have turned the WWE logo upside down near the interview area. He's still doing the upside down belt. GM's email sound goes off as we see that Michael Cole now has an iPad to read the emails. Cole reads the email that Jerry Lawler will go up against Jack Swagger to make sure he is ready for WrestleMania. Lawler says it will be good to get a little payback for what Swagger has done over the past few weeks. Josh Matthews hypes the final front confrontation between Triple H and Undertaker that will go down tonight. Video package is shown of that, which sets up their no-hold-barred match at WrestleMania. The announced team hypes all of the events that will take place at WrestleMania week leading up to the 4-hour spectacular on Sunday night. Match number 2, Justin Gabriel versus Santino Marella. The core with Gabriel, while the Big Show, Kane, Vladimir Kozlov, and Tamina are in Santino's corner. It was announced that a new match has been booked as the core will take on Kane, Big Show, Santino Marella, and Vladimir Kozlov at WrestleMania. So, there was no Kofi Kingston mentioned in that match. The match starts and Gabriel picks up a near fall after connecting with a kick to the face. Santino fights his way back into the match and hits Gabriel with a few moves before he later tries to distract Santino. Calls off trips up Gabriel and Kane gets involved and takes out Slater as the Big Show takes out Ezekiel Jackson. When I was watching that match, I didn't even see Ezekiel anywhere around. And Wade Barrett, I didn't see him around either. Santino then hits Gabriel with the Cobra to pick up the pinfall. Santino and his partner celebrate in the ring, with all of them doing Santino's signature horn blow. Well, everybody but Kane. Kane was outside the ring just walking around, and it took a while, and it was so funny. Kane finally got in the ring and did it. Big Show got a big laugh out of it. Everybody was laughing because he didn't even do the walk at all. He could barely walk. He just did the. Yeah, you know how ODB does hers? Same thing. Okay. Triple H is seen walking in the hallways backstage, and his confrontation with The Undertaker is coming up next. Josh Matthews announces Kerry Hilson will be performing American Beautiful at WrestleMania before we hear the trademark bell that signifies The Undertaker's presence. Undertaker makes his way slowly down the ring. Lemmy Kilmister then cuts off Johnny Cash's as Triple H makes his way to the ring. Just before Hunter's signature spot on the ring apron, the bell cuts off his music and the lights go out. Triple H then enters the ring and stares down The Undertaker for a moment until Shawn Michaels' music hits. Well, during that, when the lights went out, they went back to replay Undertaker's dong, dong, dong. That was about it for that. HBK comes out to a loud pop, makes his way to the ring, doing all the signature spots in the process. Michaels grabs the microphone and apologizes for interrupting, but there was no way he was going to miss this. HBK calls the match the biggest match of their career, says neither of them will be the same once the match is over with. Michaels then asks Hunter why he thinks he can do what he failed to do and stares down Triple H. Hunter grabs a microphone and tells Michaels that he got soft and decided that it was better to be the showstopper than it was to win a match. Hunter says he isn't like that and he has to win. Triple H says one man stood out when he first arrived 16 years ago and wrestled each night. No matter how injured he was, he continued to say that he patterned himself after that guy. And that guy was none other than The Undertaker. Triple H learned to respect him more and more. And the only other guy he gets respect as much as is Shawn Michaels. Triple H then talks about a pact that he made with Shawn Michaels, that they would let each other know when to hang up the boots. Hunter says that he came back for one reason, and that is to tell The Undertaker that it's his time. Triple H tells The Undertaker that he will forever be a legend, but in 6 days he will no longer be undefeated at WrestleMania. Triple H says that he is the one, as in 18-1, and Undertaker will finally rest in peace at WrestleMania. Undertaker then finally speaks, saying he respects Triple H and says if there was a time for him to go, he would want him to do it. However, it is not that time. When it is all said and done, the streak will be alive, and so will The Undertaker. Taker goes on to say that HBK gave him the best 2 matches of his WrestleMania career, yet he still didn't get the job done. Undertaker says he humbled Michaels and ended his career in the process. Michaels then snatches the microphone out of Taker's hand, tries to go for some sweet chin music, but Undertaker blocks it, and Triple H separates the two as they just was trying to push each other around. Hunter and Taker begin another stare down as Triple H tells HBK to tell Undertaker why he will beat him at WrestleMania. HBK just stands in the corner looking down at the mat. Though before he quietly leaves the ring, Michaels tells Triple H that he is sorry, but he can't win. before walking up the ramp. The Undertaker and Triple H briefly stare at each other before Taker leaves the ring and heads up the ramp. Undertaker looks back one last time before the final walking backstage, and we lead into a commercial break. Match number 3, Swagger versus Lawler. Josh is by himself for this match as Michael Cole is in Jack Swagger's corner. The bell rings and Lawler is distracted by Cole as Swagger quickly takes him down and knocks him to the floor. Swagger continues to punish Lawler on the floor, but Lawler grabs a steel chair and begins to nail Swagger in the back with it to cause a disqualification. Lawler then stares down Cole before he retreats into the coal mine. Lawler tries to scale the box, but is stopped by security as Cole tosses a drink into his face. Cole screams at Lawler and tells him that he will be done on Sunday at WrestleMania. We see footage of last week's handicap match where Vicky Guerrero pinned John Morrison to win the match for her team. That they cheated because of the rules of a handicap mixed gender tag match. Woman has to come in the ring and be the legal person. They screwed up again. Vicky Guerrero then walks out with wearing John Morrison sunglasses. Does his little intro with those slow motion John Morrison intro. Vicky tells Snooki that she will find herself in a familiar position after WrestleMania, passed out and unconscious. Match number 4, Ziggler and Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan and John Morrison. Sheamus and Morrison go back and forth until Sheamus finally hits a backbreaker. Morrison is able to kick out of the pin. Then we head into commercial break. We return to the match to see Sheamus picking up another near fall over Morrison, and he continues to wear Morrison down. Morrison hits a flashy kick before tagging in Daniel Bryan as Sheamus tags in Dolph Ziggler. Bryan takes Ziggler down with a clothesline before going for the label lock, but Sheamus breaks it up. Sheamus is tagged in as the match begins to break down with all four going at it in the ring. Ziggler and Morrison are tossed out to the floor as Sheamus takes Bryan down with pale justice, which is all it is like a border toss. Pick him up, razor's edge to pick up the pinfall victory. Then they go to footage of what happened earlier between CM Punk and Randy Orton. Orton is seen backstage with an ice pack on his leg and says that he has serious anger management issues. Orton says that he has ruined careers and says he doesn't despise a person more than CM Punk, and that's not if Orton will make it to WrestleMania, but asks if CM Punk will make it out. Final inductees of the 2001 Hall of Fame is none other than LOD, the Road Warriors. They're also from Chicago. Footage of their historic careers spanning the AWA, NWA, WCW, and WWE was aired. Precious Paul Ellering is also focused upon as all three are being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Snooki and Trish Stratus are seen in a New Jersey bar, and Snooki says that she's been trained by Trish as she is ready to go at WrestleMania. A male begins to pester them as Snooki slaps him across the face. And he's got the hairdo kind of like Robbie E in TNA. She says she will be bringing that to WrestleMania. Josh Matthews begins to hype their match as he says they cool how they were at the bar in New Jersey. We head back to see them getting into the barroom brawl and until they have to be separated. WWE announces the announcers team then hype the confrontation between Cena, Rock, and Miz, and it's coming up next. Rock is seen backstage, pacing around behind the curtain. This was a botch. He waits and waits and waits. As music hits, I guess he can't hear the music, and then he goes out walking real fast in the ring. The fans start to shout, Rocky, 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 as he delivers his trademark. Finally, The Rock has come back to Chicago. Rock says Chicago was a special place for him as he went. That was whenever he made his first WrestleMania debut match, which took place in that very same building. Rock says he decided to bring it that night and face his fears and insecurities as he had butterflies and he was nervous as crap. and go after his dreams. One of those dreams was to come out to the ring and call out John Cena. In that dream, Cena came down to the ring and in his bright shirt and rainbow shirt, and Rock put his fist in Cena's face and his boots on Cena's ass. Rock says this is reality and the people's champ is here, and it's cut off when Cena's music hits. He kept saying he's here, he's here, he's here. That was supposed to cue the music for John Cena to come out, which was another botch in the show. Cena came down to the ring to some loud boos from the Chicago crowd and says The Rock is where he belongs and giving him all the respect in the wrestling ring. Cena asks if he hears the people chanting his name, and Cena calls himself one of a million. Cena says he said what he said about The Rock because he is a fan and said he was glad that The Rock finally came back. Cena says he wanted to listen to what The Rock had to say and wants to know what the problem The Rock has with himself. Cena says that there were a lot of problems, like the colors of his clothes, way he talks, music he listened to, and his moral code. The kicker, though, was the kids of his fans. Cena says he is glad he has become, and if The Rock has a problem with the way Cena worked his tail off, then they have a problem. Cena continues by saying that he comes out each and every week as himself and says he will be judged one day, but not by the great one. Rock says he isn't going to judge Cena, but says the good Lord can't save Cena from the Rock kicking his ass all over Chicago. Cena says he has addressed The Rock face to face like a man, but if he wants to fight, then here he is. Well, the Miz's music hits at this time, which was also a few seconds later, for its interruption. Then he comes down to the ring, along with his shadow, Alex Riley. Miz says that the two are trying to upstage him, but he reminds Cena that he has owned him this past month. Miz says Cena will lose at WrestleMania, but will come putting up a fight, unlike The Rock. The Miz says he knows The Rock isn't going to do anything and to risk facing The Miz. He will be beaten so bad he won't be able to show his face in Hollywood. Miz says he can run his mouth all he wants, but he won't do anything because I'm The Miz and I'm awesome. At this point, Rock says it doesn't matter what Miz thinks, and it was so predictable. I knew this was happening. Miz thinks it doesn't matter what the Miz thinks, and Alex Riley nails The Rock from the side. Miz joins in, and The Rock begins to fight back. It sends Riley out to the floor before taking the Miz down with a DDT. Rock then hits the Miz with the people's elbow, tosses him out to the floor. The Rock then turns around and finds Cena standing there, who puts him up and drives him down to the mat with an attitude adjustment. Cena then leaves the ring and salutes the camera as Raw comes to a close. And that was your Raw events. So this might be a spoiler, being that The Miz is advertised for on the poster, as he's the only one on the poster. Let me try and pull up the all the alright, what did I do? I also have pictures of Sin Cara being unmasked. It's on the pay-per-view, the Over the Limit card. Poster. And that's Sin Cara being unmasked already. Might be so small you can't see it because it's small on my computer. That's him a little bit bigger. And that's him. I made that one a little bit bigger. But there he goes. That's his wrestling debut from last night. Here's a picture of Kurt Angle when he was arrested Friday night. That's a TMZ picture. Being arrested. I don't know if it's falsely accused or whatever, but that's him being arrested. And that concludes my show for this week.